Hey up everybody and welcome back. Right, well, haven't had any parts arrive, so we've only got a couple of little jobs we can do on this and then that'll be it. As I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I think, if stuff still doesn't look as if it's imminent to arrive, we'll pull that B40 engine out and strip that, see what we need for that, for the next Greeves. Alright, so what are we going to do? Oh, well, let me mention a couple of things before we get on to that. I had a lot of comments about French toast, or eggy toast, as it's. Although one comment mentioned putting the egg on and frying the whole thing. You know, French toast is when you actually beat the egg and it soaks into the bread and then you do it. But anyway, actually there's a thing you can get in diners. I don't see it as much now here. And it's called a Monte Cristo. And it's a big thick slice of French toast. And sandwiches are always excessive here. Then there's a layer of ham and a layer of turkey. Sorry. And then melted cheese on top of that. And they're delicious. I really like that. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I got a lot of comments about that. I also got a comment about the solder not sticking to the cable when I was making these cables, from Dean, who has a channel called Retro Mechanica, which if you haven't been to see it, you should go. It's really good, particularly if you're a bantam person, because Dean knows his bantams inside out. The big difference between Dean's channel and mine is that he doesn't keep making mistakes. So, you know, it's not as interesting as mine because you don't see people losing it. But, see, he really knows his stuff. Anyway, I'm not quite sure, he must be a sheet metal welder or something, but he suggested that the inner might be stainless steel, in which case, see, as I say, he knows his stuff. He told me which type of flux to use. So I thought, maybe that's what it is. But I don't think it's stainless steel, Dean. Or if it is, it's a very poor grade because it is very ferromagnetic. Alright? So I thought when I read your comment, oh great, that solves that problem, but I don't think it does. So anyway, that's about it for comments and things. We will put the electronic ignition on, check where the wires go and the bit that bolts up there. We will strip the amyl carb and clean it all up, and I think I have a rebuild kit. We can do that. Then what we'll do is put the barrel on, the barrel with the cracked liner, just so I can mount the carb and we can sort out the throttle cable for it, just to save time later. Because as you remember, I don't have a throttle that fits. Then what are we going to do? Then there's a couple of minor things that we'll see. But that's basically all I can do until rim, RockShox and piston come. Then we can just and get it finished. Oh, I'm working on the petrol tank. There was the remains of a coating in there, so I had to put some of the screws in and everything and get all that out. And when I dug all the stuff out around the top, hang on, I'll show you. Eh? That's easier. Right, now as you know, I've got two tanks. I think they're very slightly a different shape, but the thing that interests me is, I don't know if you can see it on the video, but this has a very plasticky look and feel to it. This has got a couple of broken bits. It's definitely fiberglass. And this underneath, you can see the fibres. The base is definitely fiberglass. But when I was cleaning the inside of this out, when I looked down in the front here, on both sides, there's a little metal strengthening sort of knee thing. Looks like aluminium. So, I don't know if this top is plastic, bonded onto a fiberglass bottom, or what. Anyway, I scraped off all of the stupid stickers that were on it. And then this, the inside was all like this one is as well actually. When I broke that off, this came off, because these normally screw on to the tank. So they buy these in. So it was threaded, and it's a tight fit. You could just, but I was thinking, oh, it's plastic fiberglass. I can get it to screw and cut a thread, which it started to do. But as soon as you got down a little bit, this and this part, as you can see, it's down in a little depression. Anyway, it's been very... I'm going to show you this, and then I'll look at the video to see if you could see it. I have JB welded it in. I put a load on the threads, got it on, and then did it. So now it's ready to be lined, and then I will paint it. Alright, so let's get on with the next thing. Alright, well, this is going to be a brand new installation for both of us, because I've never put one of these on. I've got a lot of lorries today, and I'm hoping I've got you at an angle where I can work without getting in the way. So those and that, see, this has these little holes in here. That goes on, there's a little nub on it there, so that goes on that little nub, and then that lines up with the holes, and then it goes on that bracket we put on the frame. So, good set of instructions. It says 9E to 36A, but okay. So the base plate is retained by tapping 2 holes indicated. We've done that. Fit the base plate. Important to use the spring washers. We remember all that. Feed cables through there. Put the feed cables through. Gland seal, ensuring it is the correct way around. Well, that's got to be the correct way around, hasn't it? See figure 3 overleaf. Yeah, of course that's the right way around. We're not that daft. Where are we? Slide on clear insulation cover on both the short black-white cable and the blue cable. Crimp, solder, large 1/4 inch. Hang on. There's obviously got to be more bits. Oh, there it is, down there. So that obviously goes on the end of this one up where this is, because it's got 2 spade connectors in there, and the little black and white one with the bullet connector will be for the kill switch. Alright, so we're going well so far. So we'll come back to doing that. Important notes regarding fitting of the inner flywheel. The captive nut is normally retained by the steel plate with 3 countersunk screws, but for the purpose of initial fitting, leave the plate detached. This ensures the flywheel fits on the taper and the woodruff key correctly. When locating... Okay, kill switch, plug cap. Alright, so there's the flywheel. What's going on here? Let's put the clutch and everything on now. There we go. Top dead centre. Uh-oh, it started to rain and I didn't bring either an umbrella or put my coat on because it was warm. Okay, so keyways round here now. Okay, so there's the flywheel. So the flywheel's going to go on there. I think what it's talking about now, because I got the trials one, I got this great big flywheel, which there's a register there, that bolts on there, and I think what it's saying is don't put this on because then you can't see the timing marks. So I wasn't going to put that on anyway, because with that on it's a hell of a lump to be manhandling. Okay. Fit the inner flywheel, take care that the woodruff key is correctly seated in the keyway. We recommend you fit a new one, especially if the original is in poor condition. Okay, I wonder what size it is. Let me switch you off, find the original woodruff key, which should be in the little box of bits, see what it looks like. Right, got the original one, which doesn't look bad. It's a little marked on the sides, but I have one of those kits, you know, with lots of woodruff keys in. So I've got a new one which is to me looks to be the same size. Although it's amazing on how many of the British bikes I have to buy the woodruff key. I don't know where people get them from, where my suppliers get them from, but the standard ones never seem to be the same size. See, that one doesn't want to go in there. Hang on a moment. Right, just checking that the little red dot was on to show we were recording. Where are we? So there's the original one. 156. There's the new one. 1565. So it looks as if they're right. How long is it? 604, 605. It's longer because this has got sort of truncated ends. See how deep it is. 1/4 inch, 248 bit. And this has got a flat bottom, so it's longer but flat bottomed. See if I can get it in. Because it's right in the way of move this. It's right in the way of this wires and everything. Yeah, that's gone in. It's the right thickness. But that sticks up a hell of a long way. That sticks up. Oh, come on, everything's in the way. That sticks up 150. And that is only 95 deep. See what I mean? It's the shape of it. Right, let me go and do some filing and I'll make this one the same as that one. And then we can put a new one in. Well, that's a fiddly job, but basically it was filing the flat ends. So I know you're a reasonable distance away. I don't know how much of this you can see, but now they're more or less identical. So that being said, that should go in there like that. what did I say? Now, oh, I took the calipers down there. Okie dokie. Slightly difficult to get the exact depth of this, but it's around 100 thou. And that is now reading, can't be 80s. Wow, that's really gone in. Oh no. $92. So that should go on there fine. So let's just see if I... Okay, fit the inner flywheel, taking care that the woodruff casing. To set the timing, remove the spark and plug. Blah, 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 blah. Set the piston to the top dead centre. Okay, well we can do that. Like that. And, set the piston to top. Then without moving the flywheel, rotate the base plate so that the unmarked line, not line B, the unmarked line, not line B, on the base plate is aligned with the T mark on the flywheel. The T mark. Timing is then set to 10 degrees before top dead centre. If you are having problems setting the timing, please see bottom of the page for detail. And that's got strobe light and all sorts of stuff. Let's see if we can get this done. I hate woodruff keys, actually. Having said that, I think that's gone straight on. Can't really tell if it's on. The key doesn't come right to the end. But it seems to be moving the crankshaft, so okay, that's top dead centre. We have to set it to what the T mark you're going to have to take the flywheel back off because you can't get at the screws that hold that on. Which means resighting it on the... Okay, I haven't pinched it up enough so the magnets, I get it to the right point and then the magnets are pulling it back. So what I'm going to do is get it to the right spot there. And we are going to mark the back of the case here. Okay. Take that back off. And then I can move that round to there. And excuse my head. Oh, what do you want to bet this is metric? No. Thought it would be metric. We'll set that there. It's going to have to be a try and retry, but it's not exactly tight. Well, I could tighten it up, couldn't I? But if I've got to take it back off, I can untighten it. So let's tighten them. Still at top dead centre. that's gone on. That's, oh, it is slightly moved. Oh, you fuck. Was that not exactly a top dead centre? See, I've set it at top dead centre vertically, but of course it's at an angle, isn't it? Just rock that backwards and forwards. That's top dead centre. Now we're a fraction off. We're a fraction off. What a bugger. So it should be at that one. Alright. God, this is exciting, isn't it? At least that's going on and off something like. It's right at the end of the slots. And actually, now that I've got that on there like that, that lines up very nicely to get the keyway in. So, right. The bake clays can then be readjusted through either of the holes in the flywheel. Oh, bug 'em. No, you can't get it in through the holes in the flywheel. Well, maybe you can. Yes, you can. Alright, as usual, Michael is shouting before he's hurt. Okay. So let's take that back top dead centre. There we are, everything's still spot on. Jolly good, jolly good. Are you enjoying yourselves? See wiring diagram on next page. When fitting the outer flywheel, it is recommended that you use Loctite thread lock or similar to retain the 6 countersunk screws. Don't use Loctite stud retainer if you wish to remove the screws in future. That seems a bit silly, doesn't it? They want you to put the thread locker on to keep it all nice and safe, then whether you're going to take it off later, unless it means immediately later, I suppose. Alright, so somewhere I have got what is that? That's 3 countersunks in there. No, hang on, we've got another bag. Right, there's 6 in there. See, there's a plate as well. That goes on there. Like thusly, and there's 3 little countersunks for that. Let's put that one on first. Alright, well, I nearly made a mistake. Doesn't mention anything about putting the nut on. So I put this plate on first with a little bit of blue Loctite. I've Loctited all those on. And then I realised that wasn't going to go through the hole. And I thought, no, it can't be just touching on the edge. Well, when you look at the photograph, it's obvious that that is in there like that. So, you put that on first. Oh, I know. That's how they've made it self-extracting. Right? That is on. Then this collar fits into that recess so that when you keep screwing this out here, it's now going to push this, which is screwed to that. Okay. It also doesn't mention a so what I'm looking for, a torque setting for this nut. Right, we're giving it a tighten up to no. Much man, I don't lose my paper towel down into the engine there. Now let me just tighten this up and then put that plate on. I'm thinking something like about £40. Right, so that's that all on. So now we've got to do this wiring. Alright, I actually did that up to 45, which I think for that'll be fine. Anyway, if any of you know, obviously I can tighten it up a bit more, what that should be, then let me know. Okay, let me move you a moment. I've bolted the coil on. There's 2 or 3 different ways this could go on. Obviously I could flip this triangular piece around. The holes are set, there's a little nub which is offset between the 2 bolts. So there's 2 holes for that nub. As I said, there's maybe 4 different ways you can put it on. But I did slip up slightly in that I put the bracket right in the centre. The one welded to the frame. I should really have put it to one side to take into account the thickness of this. So what we've got to do now is check that there's actually enough room to put the tank on. If not, I can put a couple of spacers in and move the black box out. Yeah, that's really close to the tank. Don't like that. So let me make up a couple of alloy spacers, about 1/4 inch. Alright, so I'll just go off and do that. You don't want to watch. I might even have a couple of them made up in the scrap box. Let me see. Okie doke. There's 2 1/4 inch spacers, so let me put them in underneath these, under the plate there. So I've made the spacers up, and then of course the bolts weren't quite long enough, and I didn't have any of the same, so I need to get a couple of 25mm long bolts. Actually, I suppose I could drill them out to be 1/4 inch. Anyway, that's absolutely minor. So I've moved it over 1/4 inch that way. These tanks apparently only go on with sort of rubber straps. Actually, that seems very tight in there. Very tight. Oh, that's nicely centered. I can get a finger up either side. I'm going to try the other tank on this. That seems very tight. As I said, these tanks look sort of the same design, but very slightly different dimensions. Yeah, look at that. This is the tank that goes on there. Oh, bugger. This is the worst of the two tanks. I thought it didn't seem to fit right at the back. Okay, I suppose I can work on this tank. It's got a couple of sort of mildly damaged bits, but nothing I think that particularly affects the integrity of the tank. And once it's lined, it won't leak. Alright then. Well, at least I don't have to scrape transfers off this, decals, whatever you want to call them. Right, let's get ready to look at these wires. Actually, it's nothing complicated. There is just, let me get these out of the bag. So the first thing we're going to do anyway is shorten this, because we've got, as you can see, we've got tons. So we'll make a couple of little things there to hold that, put it about the way, put it about here. Then the blue wire gets this one fastened to it, and this one is the one that goes to the kill switch. So that one gets a plain spade connector put on. Now then, yeah, this is something I like as well on these. The two spades are different sizes, so providing you don't put them on the wrong wires, you can't plug them on the wrong way. So it comes with two different size spade connectors, a big one and a little one. Right, so let me do some wire shortening and crimping and stuff, and then we'll see about, oh, we might as well, hold on, we might as well drill our little holes here and make up something to hold that. Well, the instructions were quite clear about which size spade went on which colour wire. So there they are together. I haven't pushed them all the way on yet. So as I say, that one goes to, where is it? Kill switch. So the kill switch has a bullet connector to go on there, and an eye to be earthed. So that's all done there. Did I mention that I'd turned this round, move myself back a little bit? So as I say, we'll make up a couple of little mountings on the alloy beam thing. Open you out again. I say I'll make up a couple of mountings, maybe, I mean we could fasten that there, or we could make one at the top and one a bit further down. But anyway, I'm getting hungry now, so let's go and see to that. We'll finish that off this afternoon. Right. Now, I've done a couple of little fasteners, but I just wanted to show you this. Nothing special, but if you need to put something like a cable or an oil line or whatever, and it's difficult to get round things, if you use a small drill just small enough that you can get a cable tie thing through, you put it through from the opposite side around the thing you want to trap, back through, then you'll find that if you've chosen your hole right, when you pull it up tight, the sort of locking mechanism, the square end, won't go through the hole. So you've got this nice close fitting fastening. It's good and tight, because you can just clip it when you get away with. But the thing is, you don't have to put it through there and come round here or anything like that. It's holding it right in. It's a little bit like the ones you used to get them. There was one on the Beza 250s just behind the cylinder. There's a little hole drilled in the case, and where the wires came out the alternator, you had a thing that you sort of pushed in, and it just held it there. It just went through the hole and jammed. Alright, so I've put a couple of them up. Let's put this side cover on. Alright, so this outer cover would have had the points and everything in it, you know, because there's a keyway there, and the cam would go on, and then the points were inside there with another cover over it. So I've got a dowel up here. So we've got to put a nut on the back of that, and then 2 screws in there, and that's on. The interesting thing here, engine lubrication, 2-stroke oil fuel ratio 20:1. I'll be running this on 50:1 with a modern synthetic oil, and probably run it 80:1 without any problem. Some of the modern trials bikes are running at 100:1. So what a difference between a modern 2-stroke oil and the older ones. Okay, so let me find the appropriate screws for that. Right, they were 1/4 BSF, so I had a couple of Allens for there, and a 1/4 BSF nut round behind there. Okay, let's take a look at this carburetor. Right, I'll do it on the welding table, and then that way I can set the camera on the far side of it and you're not looking over my shoulder or anything. Okie doke, let's see, what have we got here? Ooh. It's an Allen. Seems to be something stuck in there. See if we can clean that out. I had my last rider here at the weekend. A lad who's got, I say a lad, he's about 60. Oh, he was really taken with the bike. Well, that doesn't go in there at all. Is that, what size is that? So it's not a 1/4 inch. Oh, it's about a 5/16 hole. It really clarted up. Hang on, let me switch you off, clean these out and find the right size Allen key. Right, then we'll start again. At 5/16. Hang on, I moved. Did I put you back in? Yeah, you're over a little bit, aren't you? What was I saying before I got it? Oh yeah, John, he's going to ride the Enfield, the modern Enfield, if for want of a better name. my frame and the disc brakes and that. He really enjoyed it, and he really took to the way the engine works. He was going so slow, really using the nice long stroke, soft power with the heavyish flywheels. He was just, even on climbs, he was just puttering up and down. So that's good. I'm really pleased that the people who are getting them are going to enjoy riding them. Alright, so gasket, O-ring. Don't put a gasket on if there's no O-ring. Okay. It's a thin O-ring as well, because there's two thicknesses of O-ring. What have we got here? 626. Now then, look, it's got some sort of extended, should just normally have a pair of Phillips screws there. Oh, can you hear that? I did remember to bring the umbrella with me as I walked up. Linda took one of the cats today, the one with the, I don't know if I told you, he has a hyperactive thyroid, so he's as thin as a rake, eats constantly. So anyway, we've got him on this stuff, and he went back today for them to take another blood sample. And he does not like being in a cat carrier. Apparently on the way back he sort of managed to break the door off the cat carrier. And was, oh, look at this. What the hell is that? I was saying, oh yeah, he managed to break free from the cat carrier, but luckily he just got down in the sort of footwell and stayed there till Linda got home with him. Now I think I've got some of these banjos in various configurations. It's one of the nylon ones. Okay. Man, look at that. Yes. More strange battery things. Just had to put the other battery in, but I didn't get the little red light to tell me it was low. Right, so there's that. God, this is unbelievable, isn't it? Okay, what we got? Alright, we've got the ordinary Phillips ones at the top. My nose is itchy. Right, we'll go and give all this a bead blast so we can have a good look at it. and I'll see if I've got a rebuild kit which has the various gaskets and a new O-ring. Looks nice. It's been run on the top notch. I'm trying to rock the slide around down inside the body. Yeah, there's a fair amount of play in that. I believe that these carbs were more or less built to a price. Sort of the we have a chain of shops here called Walmart. I don't know, they're probably in the UK now. And I never buy from them. They treat their employees atrociously. But they also really were at the forefront of, instead of buying in things to sell and putting a markup on them, going to a supplier and saying, okay, you know, we think we can only sell these for £5 and we want to make 100% on them, so if you want to sell to us, they've got to be $2.50 or less. So you end up buying crap all the time. And of course with modern executives, one of the reasons why I left industry, they all work backwards from the bottom line. So the supplier would say, okay, to sell it to you for $2.50 we've got to make absolute rubbish. And that's what they would make. They never said, no, we don't make rubbish, pay more or don't bother. But anyway, that's by the by. As I say, my understanding is that, like BSA Triumph said to AML, you know, we'll buy however many tens of thousands of these if you can build them for a price. So that's why the alloy is pretty poor. But worse than that is they made the slide out of the same alloy. So they gall. Over their life, they wear really quickly. Now, this doesn't matter so much when the slide's well up. But when it's right down here, for the pilot system, you don't want air getting past this. You want air going down through the pilot system. So very often, if you can't get a good tick over, and if it's bad at very low revs, just in the bottom end, it's because the slide is so worn. You can get them sleeved, all that sort of stuff, but to be honest, the price of getting them sleeved, because there's quite a lot of machining involved, you can more or less buy a new one. And the new ones are nice with anodized slides and so on. So there we go. There's all the bits. Let me bead blast everything. Oh, this is an earlier one. You notice it's got the pilot jet is there. You can actually take it out. Then they went to a system where the pilot jet is just a pressed in brass thing in here. And it's literally, looking at it from the top, or looking at it from here, the air goes in one side and the fuel would be picked up and it would be in here. Right? In this, see, it's a right angle, it goes straight down there and then to there. Comes out through there in here, but if you don't clean the pressed in pilot jet there, you'll never get it to start on and certainly won't get it tick over. So the new ones, that doesn't even look as if it's blocked off inside there. What's going on here? Let me bead blast all this, because that looks as if it's being drilled. You see, they're made in pairs. See that cast in there and that there? It's just the same as that. And they would drill one side or the other so it could be right-handed or left-handed, and then that way if you had a pair of carbs you could have the tickler on the outside here and the tickler on the outside there. I'm hoping you can see all this. So anyway, let me get it bead blasted and then we'll come back and look at it some more. Right, I actually had to scrounge around a little bit. I had a kit with almost everything in, but so we've got a new float ball gasket that goes on the bottom, a new filter. They come with new adjuster screws with O-rings, a Viton tipped float ball needle. So let me put all this together and then we'll go and stick this on the bike. Right, I've put the bow and the head on. Put the head on because I wanted to know if everything would clear for the bolts. 3 of the bolts, well, they're long nuts, clear. I'm going to have to take the coil off to get the last one on. So, the only thing that didn't come in the gasket kit was that copper ring. So, I'll have to sort something out for that. And the photographs I've seen, this is the right thing for the carburetor, but I don't know, they seem very odd. Now I think as well I'm going to have to make a new clutch cable. I'll pull you back in a minute and show you, but I think so. The face of this I should have shown you it, but I've had on a surface plate with a piece of emery because it wasn't exactly flat. It is now. Right, okay, let me pull you back even more. Hold on. Well, I can't pull you back all that much, but that, see, it's tight now. And of course I'm forgetting the exhaust pipe is on this side and it comes sort of round here. So that might be completely in the wrong place. So we'll have to look into that. Right, let's see if we've got a throttle cable that fits. Right, well, I put the carb on. Found a nice new cable I've made for something. And I've put it on a twist grip. It's all the way out on its adjuster that I put in. But I can make a little split nipple to go in there to move this out. Come on now, you're just being... That will work. Yeah. So I don't have to make one up, just make a little split adjuster to go in there and that'll be fine. Alright, so that's all that done. Now as I say, the exhaust, we're about done because last night I noticed I had 50 minutes or something like that. Seems like there's nuts or something in there. There's a standard exhaust. As you can see, it goes right where that cable runs. Actually goes inside there. So this cable is not going to be any good. So I will leave making another one till I've got the exhaust on. But that's a minor thing. And I kept looking at this and thinking, you know, it's not really long enough. It could be. So I'm wondering, I'll have to look, see if I can see some photographs Maybe if I put that, hang on, I've got to look to see what you can see. Maybe if I put it through that hole there and bring it over the top. Trouble then is it makes quite a tight curve there. As I say, it reminds me of that C15 one that went in at the back underneath, and the only way you could get it on was with a really tight curve. But I think that would be the way it would have to go. Alright, so anyway, that's it for this week. We're basically right at the spot, as I say, where we're just waiting for things to arrive. Then we can just push on and be done quite quickly. So anyway, until I see you next week, you stay safe and enjoy yourselves.